Listening to your explanation somehow gives me the impression that it's a gray area, or does Islam has a stance on this, or it's
Okay.
Are you reluctant to answer it because it's a gray area, or?
No, I'm not reluctant because it's a gray area. I don't see it as a gray area. I'm reluctant because I think it is blown out of proportion. That is my issue.
So does Islam has a stance like?
Yeah, so in Islam, obviously, there are things that are, that we have priorities in Islam. For example, our 5 pillars in Islam are the most important things. First of all, the first most important thing is your iman and your faith, and that comes even like before the prayer. Our prayer, our salah, is the first thing we're going to be questioned about on the Day of Judgment. The Prophet ﷺ said that when we will come on the Day of Judgment, the first thing we're going to be asked is about our prayer. If our prayer is in line, everything else will be in line. If it's not in line, then everything else will not fall in line. But even the prayer, there's something that comes before that, and that is our faith and our iman and that spirituality. Because if that spirituality is not there, then it's going to be difficult to pray, it's going to be difficult to do everything else, right? Likewise, when it comes to leaving off things that are displeasing to Allah, there are things that come first, and then there are lesser things. Not to say that they're not displeasing to Allah, it's displeasing to Allah as well. But there's things that need to be left off first and foremost before you go to the other things. They're lesser, but they're not important. And I'm a big proponent of taking your time with getting close to Allah. The all or nothing deal, I think, is a very dangerous type of way to, because I've seen way too many people, like something happened in their life, they have a spiritual experience or whatever reason that caused them to get closer to Allah, and that's great, but they go like full force, like 100% in everything. And you can only sustain that for so long before it's like, oh, I'm tired, like, I miss my old life, because it's just too much. It's too much intensity. And so I always tell new Muslims, people who just start practicing, I was like, listen, I know because when you first start practicing, you have this surge of iman, right? And you're like, I just want to do everything, and yeah, exactly, iman rush. But I'm like, listen, you have to take your time. You have to be able to practice a type of Islam that is sustainable. The wife of Prophet Aisha, she asked Prophet, she said, tell me of the action that is the most beloved to Allah. Like, what does Allah love the most? And she was expecting Prophet to say one thing, right? Like, just do this, like the salah or this or that or whatever. And that's probably what we'd expect as well. But the answer the Prophet gave her is actually amazing. He said the most beloved actions to Allah, so first of all, it's not one action. The most beloved actions to Allah are those actions which are done consistently, even if they're small, right? It's about being consistent. It's about what you can carry on throughout the rest of your life. It's one thing to be super religious one day and go hardcore and go all out and blah, blah, and then the next day you're like, oh, forget it, like I can't do it, right? So it's about being consistent. And when I talk to young people, I'm like, listen, yes, make positive changes and make daily progress, but do things that you can be consistent with, right? So start small, but make it consistent.